Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at every LEGO Star Wars minifigure coming out in the June 2024 wave. This is an interesting wave of Star Wars sets because it spans a couple different time periods, being the original trilogy, Mandalorian Season 3, and the Clone Wars, so that's pretty interesting. And every set that comes out in this wave is under $40, which is also pretty nice considering how expensive LEGO Star Wars collecting can be. So in this video, we'll be taking a look at every minifigure coming out, and I'll be ranking and reviewing them, starting at my least favorite and working my way up to my favorite. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and let's get into it. I'm sure it doesn't surprise anybody that the figure that comes in last is the pilot Luke Skywalker from Luke's X-Wing mech. Now, it's not a bad minifig, it's just that we've gotten this minifigure before, and it doesn't really bring anything new to the table. As you can see, he's got his goggles down on one side, and the goggles are lifted up on the other, and when the helmet's down, it kind of covers up the goggles anyway. It is a great figure, like I said, but it doesn't bring anything new to the table, and it comes in the second cheapest set of the wave, so, you know, it's pretty easily accessible and not really much more to say than that. Now, you guys might be surprised to hear that Paz Vizsla is second from the bottom on my list. And it's not to say that it isn't a great figure, because of course it is. It's just that, kind of like Luke, we already got Paz Vizsla in previous sets, so it doesn't really bring anything crazy new to the table. And Paz Vizsla was available, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. And the figure is basically identical. There are some slight variations on the new one, like the helmet and the built print having slightly different colors, but basically it's the same minifig, and if you had them side by side and you just took a quick glance, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So it's not a bad fig. It's really great that people can add this to their collection, but since it's not new, well, that's where it's at on the list. All right, here we've got Moff Gideon's Praetorians. These are really great with new leg, hip, torso, printing, and brand new helmets. If we lift those helmets up, you can see that it's just a regular red head underneath. Relatively rare to find on a minifig, but these are really cool. I like them a lot. Later this year, in 2024, in the Advent calendar, we'll be getting one more of these, so pretty good for army building. And I like these a lot. I think the printing is great, especially with hip and toe printing. That's definitely a nice touch. The only thing is, you know, I think the backs are a little plain, even if they are accurate to what we see on screen, and they just don't excite me as much as the other figures on this list. Plus, they kind of give me flashbacks to the sequel trilogy, which I'm not a big fan of, so, well, you know where I'm going with that. Next up, we've got the Mandalorians, and of course, one of them being a Night Owl from the Battle Pack. I think that the Battle Pack is really great for 20 bucks. You really get a lot of value packed in with 4 exclusive minifigs. I mean, 2 of them are identical, which you'll see here in a moment, but I really like these. Just because they're a little generic, like if we lift up the helmets, you can see they've just got black heads. They fall kind of in the middle of the list here. If they were, like, actually named Mandalorians, like perhaps ones we saw on the show, like Cosca Reeves or something like that, might be just a little bit more interesting for me, but these are perfectly fine for army building and great minifigs in their own right. Next are the Imperial Commandos. These are from the aforementioned Battle Pack, and they both have this, like, jetpack thing on there, but I removed one so that you could see the back printing. Both of these have regular black heads underneath, so nothing too crazy there, but they do get completely new leg printing with hips and toes printing, as well as torsos and brand new molded helmets. I just think back to when I was a kid playing with LEGO Star Wars sets, how I would have loved to have something like this to help flesh out my army, in this case of stormtroopers, and I just really like the way that these look, and I think they add a lot of new color palettes to, you know, trooper army building, so I really dig these. Number 2, we have Captain Rex, and if you've been online in the LEGO community recently, I'm sure you've seen lots of discussion around this figure, because in 2023, this figure was released as an exclusive with the $650 Venator. Well, in June 2024, he's coming in a very inexpensive, like $13 micro fighter, so you can get this amazing Captain Rex, which has an awesome head print with the inhibitor chip, bandage, and all that. We've got the pauldron there. It's literally the exact same minifig from the $650 set for like 13 bucks. So that's pretty amazing. And I realize that you may watch this video and go, well, wait a minute. We already got Rex, and the 2 bottom figures in this ranking are figures we already got. I think the difference here is most people probably assumed they would never get to own this minifig because it was gate-kept behind such an expensive set. And of course, Captain Rex is arguably the most popular named clone trooper ever. So I think it's really cool that kids and adult collectors alike are going to be able to get this character To me, it would be like locking, I don't know, let's say Ant-Man behind like a $600 set in Marvel, right? Like that would just be insane and really unfair for people that wanted to collect all the Avengers. So for people that want to collect all the Clone Troopers, I think this is a massive win. And yes, technically we did get Rex before, but I feel like if you looked at a percentage of people that collect Lego Star Wars, so few ever thought they'd get the chance to own Rex, and I think it's really cool that LEGO's offering it here so that we can all enjoy the character together. And finally, at number 1, we have Moff Gideon from the $40 Moff Gideon Paz Vizsla battle set. He has a black jetpack here that's the same molding from the Imperial Commandos, but of course with black, and a 1x1 stud in there, like a flat plate stud. And of course, the highlight here is the brand new molded helmet. It is completely new for this figure with the horns on top. And when we lift it up, you can see we've got a really, really great head underneath that looks exactly like the show. So that's awesome. We've got toe and hip printing on the legs. Then, of course, the head flips around for an angry face on the other side. And we can lift that head up to see a pretty detailed back print as well. Overall, I think this figure absolutely rocks. It's one of my favorite Star Wars figures of the year, to be honest, and I really, really dig this one. So with that being said, let's finish up the video and call it a day. All right, guys, let me know if you agree with the ranking and the reviews here. I'd love to hear what you guys think, and let me know what LEGO Star Wars sets you plan on picking up in June. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.